predators that are out there and the victims that are abused.
Boothmeyer accuses Roblox of profiting from kids while failing to protect them. Roblox Chief Safety Officer Matt Kaufman spoke with CBS News earlier this month, and he says while big gaming platforms will always attract bad actors,
our job is to do the best that we possibly can to prevent anything from happening on our platform and to report those situations as quickly as possible.
Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
You'd think the crown jewels would get top-level protection. That was not the case, turns out, at the Louvre, where a quick-acting gang of bad guys swooped in Sunday and made off with priceless diamond and pearl-studded royal necklaces, earrings, and crowns in broad daylight. CBS's Liz Palmer from Paris.
A recent security audit noted that 35% of the rooms in the Denon wing, where the jewels were, have no security cameras. And France's justice minister admitted the glass on the cases wasn't strong enough. The thieves were able to cut right through it.
And they are still on the run. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full lineup is only at the one place pros rely on. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery. Or order online and pick it up in-store. Kills primers, exclusively at the Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZzzQuil Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZzzQuil Pure Z's are...
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, now, and always, your health is our mission.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday morning edition of the Roundtable Show with Rick and Wayne. Good morning, Wayne. How are you, buddy?
Good morning, Brother Rick. Doing good. I'm liking this weather. It's a little nippy in the at night, but the days are just so pleasant. So
Saturday night was chilly, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think tonight's supposed to be in the low 40s. So you know, we were in Bryson week before last, and Bryson City, and every morning the mist hung over the hills and the mountains, and and it was low 40s as well. So it was a little cool.
Well, my AC unit, it keeps it within a temperature range, and the heat kicked on. So I woke up smelling that smell, you know. I'm like, oh no.
What's the inaugural heating smell?
You know what I'm talking about.
My daughter in her new house, I think it kicked on, and she was in kind of a panic, you know, running around.
That's exactly what I did.
Trying to find what's on fire,
you
know, with the grandchildren and all there. So tell me something to cheer me up. Football, tough weekend, brother.
You said it out there. Every team that you rooted for lost. So
I'm a bad luck charm, I guess.
Yeah, my wife and I, we took in the shop, and I have a projector, so we put this big 16-foot screen up, and we're watching the Georgia game, which they did win. She's a Georgia fan. Then the Tennessee game, and I so wanted to throw something and bust that, take that screen down that watched. It was miserable, man.
I tell you what, the officiating just seems to, maybe they're just hard to find competent officials. But, you know, the game is so fast now. You know, I can see that you can miss stuff, you know, with these athletes. So much stronger, bigger, faster, just quicker. I guess faster, quicker is the same. But
I think with replay, they want to let a play run out a lot of times and then come back and look at it.
You know,
seems like to me.
Yeah, it's. You know, I certainly don't have an answer, but you know, this NIL and this portal has
ruined the game.
Has ruined collegiate athletics. So, but maybe that's a show. I don't know. We can whine for about 45 minutes.
Well, they're turning it just like the NFL. I don't watch the NFL anymore because they've now the prices are paying these guys, and then the majority of them are laying out or something's wrong with them, or they say something stupid. You know.
Yeah. It's just crazy. It's crazy. But this morning, Brother Rick, we have a great friend with us. Just out there on the front lines, looking out after us. I pray for our first responders. My prayer list's gotten kind of long these days, but first responders have certainly been in my prayer list for a long time. But this morning we have Rutherford County Sheriff's Department's Deputy Chief. I don't want to say Chief Deputy, but Deputy Chief Steve Spence. We've been friends for a number of years, and when I was on the school board, I saw you. You were always out there, greeting, meeting, and being a great face for the Sheriff's Department. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you all for having me. That's part of being law enforcement, is getting out there greeting people, and I've always been involved with the community, greeting them and building that relationship.
Yes, sir. And you're darn good at it, Chief. We always try to get our guests to tell a little bit about themselves, as much as their professional journey, education, family. We were talking before the show that your dad brought you to Rutherford County, through Seward Air Force Base, and of course, I grew up in northern end of the county, and used to see the C-130s coming in over the house all the time.
Yes,
so it's a special memory for me, as well as Rick. Of course, his father brought Capital Airlines to Smyrna, so he has some aeronautics knowledge that I don't. So, but we're pleased to have you.
Well, thank you for having me. Yeah, my mom and dad both was born here in Rutherford County. My mom in Rockville and my dad in Midland. And my dad snuck off to the military when he was 17 years old.
Wow.
In the Army, and then he transferred to the Air Force. But I was born in Homestead Air Force Base during Hurricane Betsy.
Wow. Yeah. Now, was it Andrew that leveled Homestead?
Yes, sir.
I mean, literally leveled it, from what I recall.
Yes, sir, and they never rebuilt it.
Oh, I guess... I've never thought of that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Homestead went away like Seward did then.
Yes, sir. Sure did.
So
I did not know that either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, is Homestead? Of course, Seward became the Smyrna Rutherford County Airport Authority. Does Homestead have anything like that? Did they utilize that area? Do you know?
I'm not for sure. It's been a while since Andrew hadn't kept up with it. What's going on?
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. But I think you said you came here when you were 4 years old.
Yeah, 4 years old. Yes.
Wow, okay.
He was stationed in Fort Campbell. Then he came and stationed at Stewart's Air Force Base, where he retired.
So as far as your educational experience, brothers, sisters, just the whole 9 yards, I guess.
Yes, got 3 sisters and the deceased brother. Brother died at 42, but
goodness.
5 of us. My mom had her hands full of being a soldier's wife and taking care of 5 kids at home by herself.
No doubt. So did y'all live in Smyrna, or did y'all go more back out to Midland?
No, we first started off in Northfield, and then when I turned 5, we moved out to Midland, just down the road from where I currently live now.
Yeah. So, I wondered. That's weird, because most guys go away from the military. They don't really get stationed back that close to home. That's pretty awesome for him to be able to get that.
It was. He was a big family man, and he preached that to us. And you got to stay close to your family and take care of them. Mm-hmm. And that's the main reason he wanted to come back home.
So what was your mom's maiden name?
Morton. She was Mary Virginia Morton.
Just a native of Rockville then?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I think that's probably where I ran into you the most, is at Rockville picnics and Ruritan Club and stuff like that. You're, like I said, you're always so very visible.
Yes, sir. You're not talking about my head, are you?
Well, if I did, I'd be looking in the mirror, brother.
Yeah, no, I was just joking. No, talking about Stewart's Air Force Base, a lot of people don't realize the Smyrna Beach that was there.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd go there on weekend, and that's where my dad taught me how to swim. I climbed on his back. He went out, and he said, swim back. And,
wow.
Yeah.
I've talked to the mayor of Smyrna about that. If they could bring back that Smyrna Beach that all of us got the experience when we were younger. Of course, the Air Force Base closed, and my dad moved his company here, but the beach was still there.
Right. Be great for the community.
It just got turned over, and I guess the Corps of Engineers kind of took it over after that, but we kept it going for many years until I guess the National Guard took it over and made a training area out there for MPs and locked it off. But, man, we need that back.
It would be nice.
I look at what Nashville Shores has up there that we could really use something on the north end of the county.
So as far as that area is owned by the Airport Authority?
Well, I think it's all leased. Yeah, it's all leased now to them. But they there's a boat wing, and they test drive boats back there, and there's a MP has a area out there that they've got mocked up, and there's a range out there. We used to shoot at the range back when Smyrna's got a range now. Of course, the county does too. Right. But I think we both utilized that range there for years. Be able to use it because we didn't have one here.
Where did you go to high school?
Riverdale.
Riverdale.
Yes, sir. Class of '84.
Well, we're not going to get into
yes,
sir. Did you play football, baseball?
No, sir. No, sir. Wasn't fortunate to play sports.
What? Well, I mean, just you may have been fortunate not to, because
we both wish we'd never played anything.
Right. I've got two new knees and a back surgery in my history. So, and I don't know if all of that was football related, but you may be a whole lot better off, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Far as family, any of the sisters in law enforcement or education, or?
No, sir. I'm the first family member to enter into law enforcement. Way back, my ancestors had a family member that was a judge, and I can't recall his name right now. But when you asked me that question, it reminded me of that. Yeah.
So, what made you want to get in police work?
I always wanted to help people. I always involved helping, and it's just enjoyable. And started off in detention in 1987. Actually, I was bashful, and working back in the jail helped me work with the people, how to learn how to communicate with them. And then when I got out on the streets, I realized these men and women I was dealing with back there would help me on the streets when I ran into them. You treat them like they're supposed to be treated, and they're going to help you if you need information. It was very beneficial.
Yeah, I would. So if you graduated in '84 and you went to the detention center 3 years later, so you're 20 or 21.
Yes, 21.
I would think that would be a tough gig.
It was. I mean, we see that now with our new detention officers. They've never been into conflict, and we're hiring these 18, 19-year-olds to work in our corrections, and it's a culture shock to them.
Well, especially with our generation today, because they're so isolated. Where we grew up, we were more into our friends and having face-to-face conversations. So I can imagine the training aspect of a kid today.
Yes, sir. Yes.
From 18 to 21, just because of social media and the way they shelter themselves can be.
Well, their nose is always in the phone.
Well, you just added another training point that you guys are having to pass on to them.
Sir.
So
right.
I can imagine.
And we're trying to do scenarios to show them some situations they're going to run into back here. They're going to be called everything but their right name and talked down to, but we're building that confidence in them, saying, hey, you do your job and stand your ground.
Yeah. So Truman hired you.
Yes, sir. Sure did.
He had long, wonderful history here in Rutherford County.
He's a great man. Yeah, I remember going to the interview at the old jail and then going to the new jail on New Salem. It was an eye-opener. Big difference.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So this question always comes up when we have law enforcement.
You knew it's coming. I was waiting for this.
What was your class number at the academy?
Ooh, been too long ago. I can't remember.
What was yours, Rick?
684. 684.
146.
Yeah. So he went through at MTSU, and however in his brain he can still remember his academy.
Right.
I had to go back and look it up and find my old thing, and it took me a month to
I
find
think
my
so.
program to know what my academy day. I wanted to go to a graduation just so I could find our picture on the wall.
Yeah.
If they're still up down
Well,
there.
I went to a graduation several years ago, and the picture was up.
Still
I'm right
up?
there. I'm right there in the middle.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine played football with. This is out of left field, but a buddy of mine played football with at MTSU. Through all the moving over the years, I misplaced or have lost my freshman team picture, and he sent it to me a couple of weeks ago. I think I sent it and tried to get. I had hair at that time, so trying to get Rick and the guys at the office to pick it out. So
well, if you go to a graduation, if you could go to Wayne's picture of his class, and I wanted a picture of it to see what he looked like.
146.
I don't even remember
had a
that.
Fu Manchu at the time. So
Now I'm going to go back and look up my number and memorize it.
See, I
You
know.
threw me a curveball.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, it's kind of like your serial number in the military. So did you? So instead of going to the military, you just went law enforcement.
Yes, sir. Served here locally. Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So what, as far as your hopes and dreams for the sheriff's department, what's there for you?
Well, want to build a better relationship with our community to take and so they can open up and communicate with us. But number one, we got to protect our neighborhoods, provide the resources for our men and women so they can do their jobs, and lead with integrity so we can keep Rutherford County strong and safe to raise families, work at, and attend schools.
Well, since you mentioned the schools, of course, what's near and dear to my heart is the SRO.
Yes, sir.
Personnel, because just protecting our schools. Of course, if I had my way, we'd have 4 SROs, sometimes 5, in these huge high schools and these large middle schools and elementary schools. I'm pleased that every school has SRO involvement, but I would like to see that. I would love to see that expanded.
Yes, sir. It's a great program. They've got a tough job. A couple of years ago, we added an extra SRO to the high school, which is 3, and we're looking at adding another SRO to the middle school. They're starting to see the same trends that they're dealing with at high schools, so we need to add another officer there at the middle schools.
Well, you have Blackman Middle School that 1,800 students, Rick?
Yes.
I think 1850 maybe.
That's
they're
close.
all knocking on the door in 2000.
that's just. I can't imagine being the administrator over 1,850 middle schoolers. That just blows my mind.
Well, you got to figure some of our high schools they'd rank in the top 10 as far as if they were an employer or a company with the number of employees that, and their students are there, but those number of students per day that's there, we're the second largest employers in Rutherford County, and that's mainly to do with what our school system, the teachers and the SROs and everything that's involved in all that.
Right.
Certainly, I know you have to look after the entire county community, but watching over our children is has to be job one.
Yes, sir. Sure does.
Yep.
We've got to keep them safe.
Tell us about. So you started in '87 as a jailer. Kind of give us the preview of your progression through the sheriff's office and when you got promoted and went on the road and where you went from there to today.
Yes, sir. I was promoted to patrol in 1989, state patrol officer to 90, and I was promoted to a sergeant over the FTO program. We were starting to amp up the FTO program to make it more beneficial for our employees. And then I worked my way up to lieutenant on midnight shift on patrol. Then I was fortunate to go to training. I was promoted as a captain in 99, I'm sorry. and was able to help train these officers when they came in. We provided the training, hosted a lot of schools, brought other officers in from other agencies to our agencies to go to our in-services, and it was able to recruit some officers to get to see what we did. In 2014, I asked to go back to patrol as a captain because I missed patrol, to work with the men and women on patrol. Stayed there for a couple years. In 2017, I was promoted to major, and then 3 years ago, I was promoted to deputy chief over the budget and finance.
Yeah, I can remember teaching some classes with Bill Sharp and some. We had that whole homicide investigations thing, and I think you were over that back when we started that. And, and we were bringing in basically where we would have to go to the academy or wherever we were able to bring in our own guys, and departments around us would pay to come and train here, and it was a different approach that, like you said, back during that time that we had never had before. That and I don't know if it still goes on today as much as it did back then, but it was a whole lot easier as far as those dollars spent in training budgets, and you were over that, so it was you were scrambling for men and where you could send them to school, that's something they'd be interested in, because by state law every officer has to do 40 hours worth of training per year, and then you got to have firearms training and EVOC. So there's training requirements you got to have every year. And
what is EVOC?
Emergency operations of vehicles. So you either have it as a written or slideshow, or in Smyrna a lot of times there before I left would do physical training. We would take over the Sharp Springs Park, and we would do obstacle course and things like that, or the actual cars that we drove.
And we started that last year doing hands-on training. You got more from it than just sitting there listening to PowerPoints.
Every profession has its own set of acronyms, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We took we got to Nashville Speedway, Super Speedway. We had a great plan that they allowed us to come out there and run our cars, but I think we said we'd never be able to do it because the number of brakes and tires and stuff we went through getting to run that racer. But you really got to see what your car would do or couldn't do with those little V6s on that track.
Manpower is always an issue. Talk about the type of individual that you would like to see as far as a candidate or applying to be a sheriff's deputy or a detention officer, if you will.
Yes, sir. On detention officer, you just want somebody that's dedicated, prompt. We had a guy a couple weeks ago. He started with us 2 weeks and then quit showing up for work. So we want to make sure they're dedicated to the job and to show up for work. Patrol officers, right now we're interviewing certified officers that come from other agencies, or new men and women that's never been in law enforcement. So that's beneficial too for the department. Well-rounded men and women we're looking for.
At one time, most of your departments, I don't know about the sheriff's office around the state, but they wanted at minimum an associate's degree in something, or maybe even a bachelor's in either arts or science. Is that still a preferential situation, or does that maybe it's just more background and intelligence, how they test out, that kind of stuff?
Yes, sir. The requirement we have is just a high school diploma or a GED, equal GED. We have discussed with the county about giving some incentives for the ones that's got some degrees. I think they deserve it, but like you said, the degrees will help them advance, on their resume when they put in for promotions or advancement into the sheriff's office.
Cool.
Yep. Hey, we're coming against our first break, but you're listening to Deputy Chief Steve Spence with the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office with us this morning. We'll take our first break and be right back with you in just a minute.
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, Now and always, your health is our mission.
What's the location of your emergency? I think my kid OD'd.
Hi, I'm Craig Harris. I'm County Commissioner of Rutherford County. One of the reasons I ran for office is because I wanted to bring awareness to the opioid epidemic that's impacting our county. To stop providing this epidemic with people as we educate. We have a lot to do, and we have to come together as a community because this problem is not going away.
This is Chip Walters, and I'm honored to be your 2024 MTAR Realtor of the Year. I'm with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, and like many of you, I've seen the real estate market shift and change. People often ask, Chip, what's really going on? Well, that's a great question, and I believe in answering with solid, factual data. So let's cut through some of the noise. I invite you to reach out. Let's have a conversation about your real estate goals and the current market trends in your neighborhood. You can find all my contact information at choosechip.net.
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, now, and always, your health is our mission.
Good Neighbor Events is brought to you by Old National Bank, the law offices of John Day, and AmeriCare Pest Control.
In today's changing world, you need a financial planner that you're comfortable with. Rely on the bonds that you've built with trusted friends at Old National Bank on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard here in the borough. And if you just moved here, visit us and enjoy warm, homemade cookies.
Honey, the cookies are ready.
Like Grandma used to make. Old National Bank. We're better together.
2230 Dr. MLK Jr. Boulevard. Old National Bank, member FDIC.
WGNS encourages you to shop local. Let's patronize those local family businesses. Some great plays to enjoy this weekend. The fantastic Mr. Fox at the Springhouse Theater in Smyrna this weekend. And here in Murfreesboro at the Center for the Arts, it's Damn Yankees. And that continues Fridays through Sundays through October the 26th. And don't miss the City Schools Foundation's Pickleball Tournament this weekend at the Adams Tennis Complex. And Saturday brings Harvest Days to Cannonsburg Pioneer Village. Enjoy homemade crafts, live music, and living history demonstrations. And the Murfreesboro Art League will have art on display and for sale. That's this Saturday from 10 until 4. The 49th Annual Harvest Days at Cannonsburg Pioneer Village. The admission is free. And Wine Around the Square is this Saturday, 6 until 9 in the evening, all around the historic downtown square. The proceeds support the Ascension St. Thomas Rutherford Foundation's Power of Pink program. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
We'll see mostly sunny skies here this afternoon with a high in the mid-70s. Tonight, mostly clear, low near 42. Wednesday, sunshine, high of 69. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki from the WGNS Rutherford Weather Center. Currently, it's 56.
WGNS is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Sharing Change has donated now over $12 million to local nonprofits. Find out how your spare change can make a big impact at sharingchange.org.
WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna. All That's News with Matt Lane, weekday afternoon.
WGNS, your good neighbor station.
Rutherford County's place to talk. This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
And welcome back to the second segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne, and certainly our pleasure to have Rutherford County Sheriff's Department Deputy Chief Steve Spence. He's been a friend of both of ours for a long, long time, and again, pleased to have you this morning, Chief.
Yes, sir. It's glad to be here.
think we were going to talk about topic for this segment was going to be jails, maybe?
Yes, sir, that's correct. This morning we had 1,024 men and women incarcerated at the sheriff's office. And out of that 1,024, 230 males are state inmates and 9 females are state inmates.
Now, that's something that Rick has shared, I think, through the commission, the expense.
Yes, sir.
That you're especially housing state prisoners.
Yes, sir. And it costs us $88 a day for the state inmates, and the state only reimburses us $41.
Just
How
it galls me, man.
I mean, what happens if you here?
Yeah, I think right now it's the prisons are short-staffed and they're getting full, and they can't bring any more. And about last month, they called Sheriff's Bluff. They said they would take 80 inmates if we got them to Bledsoe by 7 o'clock in the morning. We called all the resources we could. We even borrowed vans from the work center, and we had those inmates up there that morning. So that helps, just getting rid of them.
It just seems that's such an inequity for our county community, for the state to pay half of what it takes to house, an inmate.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Well, we got to figure out. This is a hot thing for me. It just galls me, man. It was that way when I was on commission 15 years ago, and it still sits that way today. But we haven't built a prison since when you started in law enforcement,
yes,
1989. Yeah. And then they tried this whole thing with private things, and now we got all these lawsuits about the private prison network. But we're not building prisons. We're not housing, the bad. And it seems like we've gone to COVID. We released so many people out into it and tried this GPS tracking and everything else. My incident that I was involved in a shooting in 2014 was a guy that was, a 9-time convicted felon that was supposed to be on parole and never showed up to his first parole hearing in the 9 months he was out, and they never violated his parole or anything. It's just our state is failing us. And so if you take, I'm sorry I'm capturing the show, this is about you, Steve, but if you just said we kept the same 240 all year, that's $7.6 million it costs the county taxpayers for state prisoners.
Yes, yeah.
And we've had as high as what we had close to 300 when they called the Sheriff's Bluff and we shipped off a bunch.
Yes, sir.
We had over 300 at that time, so it's a fluctuating number. That number doesn't sit, but
can you not just put them on buses and drop them off in Shelby County or Knox County?
No, sir.
You can't do it that way?
No, sir.
What if you just go ahead and keep them in handcuffs and just drop them off?
Yeah.
I don't know. We're going to look at new jails. That's part of it. I think the federal government's gave us like 5 years, and we don't want to talk a whole lot about it. But
yes,
they gave about 5 years to. We've got to build another jail, and we got to, 1, find a location for it, and 2, find the money to pay for it, which is going to knock on the $300 million for the jail with $1 million worth of land. So you're sitting on about $400 million just right there alone. That's coming in the next 5 years for the the sheriff's office to keep you within the federal guidelines that they've set forth, that we have to abide by.
So who set and I don't want to continue off but who set the rate per day when Rutherford County's having to pay this much to house and take care of that inmate? Who sets that rate of reimbursement? I mean,
that's the state, and it's like that across the state of Tennessee. All sheriff's office gets that same amount reimbursed.
But is that set by the General Assembly, or?
Yes.
They do it themselves.
Yeah. Now it was 35 in 2006, 7, and 8 when I was pushed for it, and we got an extra $1 to 36, and then in the 15 years we've gone from 36 to $41 that they pay now. So that's been the progressive. Inflation is not our friend as far as when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Well, I apologize for getting off in the
you're fine.
weeds, but that just seems insane that Rutherford County taxpayers has to pick up that deficit.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Well, we need to pay our deputies a good living wage for the county that we've provided to our citizens here. Our cost of living, our housing median is what, $277,000 for and I think that's low, but that's what the housing median is for Rutherford County. So you take $277,000 and then you take a sheriff's deputy or a jailer's salaries, it's not a livable wage.
Sure.
No, sir.
They worked before I got on the commission as far as a increase in that, but that's a thing that needs to be looked at every 6 months to stay with the trends of what our county. Now, our county costs more per prisoner because of the amount of costs it costs us to man it. You know,
Yes.
we have to pay somebody more than what a smaller county may have to pay, but that's where I'm thinking out of the box. If we, you know, are we allowed to share state prisoners with other counties that may want to, you know, make a dime or two off of it? I don't know, but it's something outside the box that's got to be looked at.
It's worth looking at.
Yeah. I mean,
seems common sense to me too.
Yeah.
Right.
Going back to cost of the jail, County Finance runs a report up for us every year. But July 1st of 2023 through June 30th of 2024, over $27 million it costs to operate the jail, and that's from salaries all the way up to maintenance costs. So it's expensive to run a jail.
Well, I would think just the maintenance cost alone, because you have a clientele that doesn't want to be there.
Yes, sir.
And they're, as far as taking care of the facilities, that's going to be number 120 on their list.
Yes, sir.
As far as taking care of the facility.
Yeah, it's very expensive to keep up with. Just a couple of years ago, we replaced a hot water heater, and it's over $500,000. And we've got 4 of those, and we just placed them 6 years ago. So we got 3 more that can go out any time.
It's not only you got to house them with today's world, and you spoke about it earlier. You're trying to, just like SROs are reaching out to students, trying to build that bond and everything else. You're trying to create programs for these prisoners,
yes, sir,
to where their recidivism rate is not as high as it is. That we can try to cut into that a little bit, and it takes those jailers that we hire that gets a good living wage, that develop that relationship with those prisoners. So when real world situations where you're out there in the real world, that they may trust you and give you information. But if you just lock them up and throw, just pitch meals to them every day, you just don't have that working relationship, and they'll be in and out. And
right.
I don't know what we're spending on that budgetary wise, but it's a good amount of money that you guys and the programs y'all implement to try to help keep them from returning back.
Yes, sir. We're working with Recovery Court and Reentry, and currently they just got a grant. We hired 2 educational assistants. It's going to help us do more classes. On top of that, if it's buy a portable building, it's going to have 2 classrooms. We've got to do our job to educate them and keep them from coming back.
Well, and you've got to find things to keep them, I would think. Well, I don't know about busy work, but if you don't keep them interested in something, then they're going to go in the other direction.
Yes, they are. We've got to meet them halfway and do their part to help them. A lot of these men and women has never had somebody to help them come up in life,
right.
So this is our job, is to take care of them.
Well, and of course, for me, I think faith-based intervention is extremely important, because yes, I wonder how many actually grew up with any kind of faith instruction from the parents or guardians or whatever situation they were raised in.
Yes, sir. And we provide chaplains come back, and we do church for them currently.
And speakers, I mean, as well. You look at the influence of a Jelly Roll that is gone from a rapper, drug dealer in Antioch and Rutherford County. He run down here a lot, and to now he's a country music star, and he uses his platform and visits jails and things. And I think you can see just in some of the videos I've seen of him talking to people in jails and things.
Yes.
He was in one I can think right off the bat as Virginia, And you saw you could hear a pin drop in there of the prisoners listening to his message and what he was trying to say. And
because he's been in their shoes.
Been in their shoes. He
Yes,
can
sir.
talk. Hey, there's a way out of this, and I can get if you've grown up in an environment and a situation that a lot of them just had followed in the footsteps of others, be it family or friends, that there is a way out, and if we can kind of work with them and show them a better way, then. But all that costs money. That's part of that. What, 20?
Yeah, over 27 million. Yes, sir.
$27 million we're having to schedule for these guys.
Now we have a peer support that we got through a grant. We work with the recovery court, and these men and women that work with peer support was addicts. So they're able to go back here, like Rick was talking about, they can go back here and relate to the inmates. And we've sent several of them to rehab, and they've came out rehab. Matter of fact, I ran into 3 of them that just work in a local restaurant, and they're back on their feet, raising their family, got their kids. And that's a success right there when you see them out in the community.
Sure is. But we're coming against our next break here. We'll be right back with you in just a minute, but you're listening to Deputy Chief Steve Spence with the Rutherford County Sheriff's Department. We'll be right back.
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, now, and always, your health is our mission.
Sign-ups are going on right now for First Shot's Winter Basketball League in Rutherford County. Coach Andy Herzer guides kids to sharpen basketball skills and build teamwork through exciting clinics and games. Since 2003, First Shot has empowered youth to grow in mind, spirit, and body. Don't miss out. Join the fun and develop lifelong skills. Visit firstshottn.org today and register for the Winter Basketball League. That's firstshottn.org.
This message brought to you by the Central Tennessee Regional Solid Waste Planning Board. Visit recyclerightTN.com for tips, ideas, and locations on where to recycle near you.
Don't be trashy, recycle classy, recycle right, Tennessee.
Recycling isn't just about tossing materials in a bin, it's about knowing which materials are accepted. Go to recyclerightTN.com.
Recycle right, Tennessee.
Dozens of vendors, one local tradition.
Plump, juicy tomatoes.
The Farmers Market, every Tuesday and Friday, 7 a.m. to 1.
Pick fresh this morning.
At Lane Agri Park in Murfreesboro.
Farm fresh eggs.
At 315 John R. Rice Boulevard.
50 years strong. Come see why.
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, now, and always, your health is our mission.
From driveways to highways, SRM Concrete has the right mix, on time, every time. Locally grown, nationally known, family owned and operated, SRM is the name you trust. SRM Concrete, you call, we haul.
Hi, I'm Jason Hansen, a former CIA officer. In these uncertain times, with rising geopolitical tensions and skyrocketing inflation, protecting your financial future is crucial. That's why I trust Advantage Gold for all my precious metal investments. They're the only company I buy from, period. Call Advantage Gold now at 800-900-8000 for a 100% free gold guide. See exactly how gold can safeguard your wealth. Again, call 800-900-8000 today.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance meter. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
And welcome back to the third and final segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And it's been our honor and pleasure this morning to have Rutherford County Sheriff's Department Deputy Chief Steve Spence. And, we were talking about finances and housing inmates and, attracting people, to the law enforcement profession. Something that I was thinking of, and maybe we ended the last segment with, how many inmates that you deal with from a patrol situation, with a drug arrest, and then they're in the detention center and they have an addiction, and you're having to, so you're just going up the steps with them, and the whole time, they're looking for the next fix or something to calm their addiction, and
Yes, sir.
I can't imagine how you deal with that.
Right. And fortunately, we got Dr. Rudd, our doctor on staff. He has medication he can give them for withdrawals and so forth that they are having on the drugs. Of course, they're giving a medical exam, blood work, and all that to see what they're on before they come in. That way, we can prepare when they get ready to go through these withdrawals.
So, most of your inmates would normally be 11 months, 29 days. Are the state prisoners even longer than that?
Longer, and some come in here that can't make bond. Then we have a 10-day rule. They have to go before the judge, if it's video or in person, within 10 days to see if they can be released.
Okay. I'm just thinking, an inmate with a chronic disease, diabetes, cancer, something like that, that puts a whole different burden on you, doesn't it?
It sure does. It costs the county money and security, because we have some of these men and women have to go to the hospital, and we have to guard them up there. So it's a security breach as well as expense.
It's a vicious circle, man.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, that's I was trying to think of a phrase, but you thought it's a vicious circle that you're having to deal with.
It is. And majority of these men and women that come in, they've never seen a doctor till they're incarcerated, and that's the sad part. But we're spending $7.4 million a year on just medical care. That's what we pay Dr. Rudd for on-site and off-site for medical.
Now, is there any reimbursement for the state for the state prisoners?
No, just that $41.
Just that 40?
Yeah, yes, sir. Now, we do have, if an inmate goes and needs medical treatment, some of the costs can be taken out of their commissary, and it's given back to the general fund for the county. I think it was like $15,000 just last month that was taken out of commissary that was for medical treatment.
But that's a drop in the bucket when you're talking about the hundreds of thousands of dollars that, cancer treatments or stuff like that. And,
exactly.
And I presume you have to provide insulin for a diabetic, and
yes, sir.
And that's pretty expensive too.
Yes, sir.
We had 7.6 and 7 million for prisoners, state prisoners. Now 7.4 for the medical side. We're at 15 million right there.
Wow.
Wow.
Right.
What's the annual budget for the sheriff's office?
Annual, but sheriff's office and jail both is over $81 million. The jail alone is $30 million and $391. 50% of that is salaries, and the sheriff's office is broken down to $51 million. 80% is salaries.
80% of that salaries.
Yes,
wow.
sir.
And that's our education system. The 3/4 of it is salary and benefits as well.
Yes, sir.
Of course, the debt service is all building schools.
But there are some state grants, and I don't want to sit here and spend the show bashing with the state or anything else, but like the Christy Houston's Foundation, we just went through the commission last month that
yes.
You were able to get a grant through them. Talk about that a little bit,
yes,
and maybe some of the other programs that you guys get.
Speaking of Christy Houston, we went through about 3 months ago. We partnered with EMA and County Fire. We was able to get AEDs, provided AEDs through all of our patrol cars, put them on the floors of the jail and throughout the sheriff's office, and then EMA took 6, and then County Fire put 6 on their fire trucks. But we're very aggressive on grants. When I took this position, I told the sheriff I wanted to be very aggressive to save tax dollars on grants. And since 2017, we've got $19 million in grants. In the 3 years I've been there, it's been over $15 million. And SRO grant is $75,000 per school, and it's substituting the salary, so that can go back and help us do more things for the county and the sheriff's office.
I know Rick has talked about some federal grants that he was involved in. over the years.
Yes.
Is there any help from the federal government, for law enforcement these days, or is that pretty much dried up?
Oh, no, sir. We get federal grants and state grants. We've had some federal grants with the Bureau of Justice Assistance that was able to give us 6 deputies to work the drug fighting, the opioids and the rehab. It was part of the peer support that we do at the sheriff's office. A lot of benefit, going back, it saves the tax dollars, but it gives our men and women the resources that they can use to do their jobs, which we wouldn't get regular if we didn't have the grant money.
So I know Smyrna has hired a grant writer, and then I've got my brother-in-law's son, nephew, that he's a grant writer for a city outside of Indianapolis, in Indiana, where he lives, and that's what his sole purpose is for that county and municipality in that area. Is he does nothing but grants, because grants are hard to write.
Yes,
and you've done them and been involved with them.
Yes.
You got to jump through the documentation that you have to provide, and if you miss a T or an I on it, a lot of times they'll get rejected and sent right back to you, and you were probably in the running to get that until you didn't do the process correctly. And so I don't know if that's something y'all have somebody dedicated now, or is it something we probably ought to look at in the future. I didn't know this was such a big thing until I got to talk to my nephew that I think he's landed about 30 million since he's been in. There's a lot of grants out there. It's just what you are able to apply for, and if you can meet its standards.
Yes, we put a grant committee together, and we've got division heads, which are captains over the division, that helps me, and I can't take credit for all of this, but they're the ones that put the pencils to the paper and write the grants, and we work with the county's grant coordinators. They've got 2, and then Reba Carlton that just retired. She's back on part-time.
I was just thinking of Reba.
Yes, and they are lifesavers when it comes to grants, and it's the important part about having a good relationship with other agencies that you work with.
Reba was with the central office for Rutherford County Schools for a long time as well.
Yes. Right.
I can't remember the name of it right now, but that's the Tennessee grants, but like the DUI checkpoints and
Tennessee
highway safety grants that they give out every year, and it pays for the overtime for officers to do those checkpoints or directed patrol. There's different ones you can apply for.
Yes.
And
so is there a difference in the grant writing for a state or federal grant and one that you would be pursuing through some private entity?
No, so most of them are through the state and federal, both about the same, but we're starting to find out where the state grants are more complicated than the federal grants. States send out auditors to look at the equipment you buy, take pictures, and follow up on how do you spend the money, and it's got to be spent on that exact point.
After 9/11, the Department of Homeland Security, that we had I don't know what we're part of now because I'm out of the business, but we had our task forces, and Rutherford County was not a part of metros, but we had our own, and we had a lot of smaller counties, and we were like the big county in that, and we had committees, and every year you would apply for money and get grants from the federal government, and then everybody in the county basically had to put in their wish list, and a lot of times it would they wanted to fund programs as it went on. The very beginning it was like a toy grab that you would get federal ex-military stuff down to, and then towards the end they wanted to fund programs, and we were trying to go from the old VHS radio 400 series into the 800 thing, and man, it was such a daunting task to try to get everybody on that 800, and we all ended up going different directions because the Homeland Security money fell apart, and I think we still fight that today.
Yes, sir, and that's always a problem when you go to a big scene is the communications. It's hard to communicate with each other, but we've came a long ways for the radio systems.
Yeah. Back in the day, we all shared a radio system, and then we went to separate radio systems. But we still on a radio. I could go down or go up, and I could talk to Murfreesboro, go down, and talk to the sheriff's office, and go down too, and I could get to Laverne. And so a lot of times we communicated, and we had need backup from the sheriff's office, and the sheriff's office would need backup from us a long time back. When I'm talking my years now in the early 90s, so
and it still goes on.
Yeah.
Now you pick up a cell phone. Help.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're blessed here in the county. We've always had a good relationship with all the public safety agencies and getting things done.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're really literally on the same team. It's just you have different parts of the county community to look after as far as your backyard. But
yes, sir.
I mean, there's always somebody out there, you know, we've seen in the past that wants to do us harm.
Yes.
Well, the level of lack of a better word, cooperation between all the departments, just in the scenes I've seen here lately, the murder that happened on I-24 and catching those two people, that was everybody was kind of involved in that.
Yes, sir. And technology was a big part.
It's another Smyrna incident, but there was a liquor store that a guy was held up in, and that was Laverne, Smyrna, and the sheriff's office all on top of that. So the cooperation nowadays is just amazing that we're able to do.
Do the SWAT teams work ever train together, the different SWAT teams throughout the county?
Yes, sir. It's not as regular as it used to be, but they do train together because we back each other up. If Murfreesboro has a big operation going on, they'll reach out to us or Smyrna or Laverne to help with it.
Okay.
The county Laverne's got one now as well, but Bearcats, they're the armored vehicles.
Yes,
Smyrna
sir.
doesn't have one, and so it would take, you know, the cooperation from somebody else to bring that vehicle in to be able to have it to use as a resource.
You roll up on the scene in that thing, and it's going to get my attention.
Yes, exactly.
And speaking of the Bearcat, that's how we received that, is through UASC, the Homeland Security grants. Was fortunate to get that right before I stepped down as the Homeland Security chairperson for the grants here in the county.
So you said everybody has one except Smyrna?
Mm-hmm. We had one coming through UASC, and then I guess for whatever reason Smyrna allowed it to go to Franklin or Brentwood or somewhere in Williamson County, and said we'd get another one, and then
they're dried up.
Well, I don't know if the funds dried up, but they always have a certain way or direction they want you to apply for your funding every year. So,
well, then maybe Smyrna ought to request a Bradley or an M1 or something.
Well, it's depending on what administration you get in as far as how they look at how they want to spend their money.
Yes. So if you were Santa Claus and could do a wish list, do you have a wish list for your department?
Stay on top of our men and women's salaries. That's number one. We got to take care of them in retention and the recruitment, and then work on keeping the men and women out of our jail. Do better education. That's the top two.
I know the school board has some responsibility for certain ages that are during the detention or center or the jail too.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, they've come a long way with their programs, you know, for criminal justice, and then even the EMS classes they teach in some of the high schools.
But I mean, as far as educating the inmates, I think they have some responsibility, maybe up to age 19.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry, I misunderstood you.
Yeah, I didn't phrase it very well. That was my fault. So, but we certainly have enjoyed being with you. Chief, this of course, this is more of Rick's bailiwick than mine, even though I have a much younger certification than he does. So.
I've enjoyed being here. Now I gotta go home and look for my certification number.
Yeah.
Doing that curveball.
Yeah, I'm missing now, man. You're like me.
Yeah.
Maybe we call the academy and say, "Can you take a picture?"
Yeah.
I'm sure this with you. Johnny Welch was over the academy, and he was over Post. Him and I graduated the academy together. Every time I talk to him, he said, "Hey, so and so from class," and I he's always on top of me. I remember the number.
Yeah, I just can't help myself, and you know, I'm just so proud to have gone through the program. You know,
right.
Just there was some tremendous law enforcement professionals, and I didn't stay the course, but I have this certificate.
Yes, sir.
And you have the memory because we don't remember.
And the photo.
Hey, buddy, thank you for coming on with us today.
Thank y'all for having me.
God bless you.
God bless y'all.
Hope you enjoyed our show today, and we'll be back with you again as usual. And have a great week, and be careful out there.
Subscribe to Big G TV, local content that matters to Rutherford County.